Hello and welcome to week 7, that's right, of the TBD College Football Podcast. I am joined, as always, by my co-host and good friend, Dugan. Dugan, how are we doing?
We're doing well. You just said week 7, like, hit me in the face.
Right?
I'm... Dude, I didn't have us past 2.
I agree. I was
waiting for one of us to make a really bad excuse to be like, oh, I can't do it this week, and then we blink the season's over.
My name is always Neubeck here hosting, and we are, week 7, man. We're in the meat of things.
We're powering through it right now.
And we're figuring out a lot about college football, who the real contenders are and who are not, which is always good. People say, around week 3, you learn to see, who's for real, who's not. But each week, it seems that, and like every college football season, teams just keep getting knocked off. Especially with all these weeks having great matchups.
Did we get? I was also thinking about this. What an inaugural year to start this off that the scheduling gods gave us.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
We have not had I think we had one week that sucked. Maybe week 2. Week 2 always sucks. So
yeah,
but no, we've been blessed with really good games.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. We'll start off with the shootout.
That was
the Texas-Oklahoma.
Yeah, that they changed the name of that thing. You gotta call it the Red River Shootout. That was going back. I was following that on Twitter for a little bit just to see. I love getting Skip Bayless's University of Oklahoma tweets. Those are funny. But that was that's a rivalry game. Charlie Strong just threw his record out the window and how bad that team is. Though the defense is still really bad, but that team played. Oklahoma's not that good, apparently.
Well, they get.
They won, but still, you'd like to think a preseason national champ pick would take care of business, but that's Big Game Bob.
Big Game Bob. God, I hate him. He's not worth money. It's not that. It's just you never have to worry about Bob beating your team because if they're good enough, it won't matter. He just will not rise to the occasion. He lost this game last year, but it's a 3-2. Okay, you're 2-0 in the Big 12. Texas drops to 0-2 in the Big 12, in 2-3 overall. But going back to Bob, we had the Big 12 written off week 4. It was done.
Yeah, Baylor was technically still there, but we laughed at Baylor.
We're still laughing.
We're still laughing at Baylor.
Especially with no conference title coming, nothing. So this game, this game's kind of like, a lot of games this year. Who's going to be on the hot seat at the end of it? Charlie Strong beat Notre Dame week 1, and we thought it just solidified his position at Texas. And now he's sitting at 2-3.
Spoke way too soon.
And not a whole lot of defense being played, especially in the second half of this one. I wasn't impressed. It didn't come off as two great football teams going head to head. It was just two mediocre programs in a neutral site going at it.
Do people? I know people in Texas take this seriously. Obviously, it's football. It's religion. Do people take this game seriously? That are not affiliated with both institutions? Because I feel like the Iron Bowl, you definitely have some outside SEC attraction to it. I'll watch it, even though I don't really like either team. I'll watch it, but and then you go to Army Navy, which obviously that was a bad example, but that's national wide. But I feel like this is kind of joke. It's a joke.
Well, think about your two examples that you gave me. Army-Navy is usually played...
That's bad. That was a terrible
Is
example.
usually the
I
only...
retract that. I retract that.
Is usually the only game on TV. And then...
I retract that.
The Iron Bowl, think of the last 10 years, either team has been relevant.
Yeah, that's what...
And
so,
a title
I'll
contender. So, and anything can happen to 109-yard kick sixes to killing trees. I don't know, like
that was awesome.
But no, I think the old soul in me has to say that this game does get national attention just because of two storied programs going head to head. Granted, you could argue that Oklahoma's back, but because they made the college football championship last year, or the playoff. But I think it just goes to the fact that these two programs historically have been there before. Therefore, they're going to get attention. I was getting excited just because it was a good game last year. In Texas, huge underdog coming in, just like this year, came out and beat Big Game Bob. So...
Do you think it also is a disservice that this game is played in the beginning/middle of October? I remember my dad always used to say this was like one of his favorite rivalry games because it'd be on Black Friday or even on Thanksgiving, like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. The fact that this game's played so early is ridiculous.
No, I see the problem about that week, the Thanksgiving Day week, the rivalry weekend, is that there's so many games and so many good games. I mean, you're going to get the Iron Bowl. You're going to get Ohio State, Michigan, which this year is going to be the Big Ten.
That game's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
That game's going to be awesome.
There's a lot of programs going head-to-head that are historically really good, and that's why it makes it such a good game. I like the fact that these games are spread out, and you can kind of mark your calendars every year to make sure, you're in front of a TV.
I can see that angle.
And, LSU, Alabama's always played this first weekend in November. Same with Florida, Georgia, the biggest cocktail party. So it's...
We should go to one of those.
I would love to. But yeah, no, this is a nice, a good matchup usually in the middle of the year, and I for one enjoy it. Oklahoma does not cover the 10.5 points.
They did not.
So
I think we were both from Oklahoma there.
Yeah, we are.
Fucking Bob.
Fucking Bob.
Wrong kid died.
Wrong kid died. We're going to Tennessee and Texas A&M. What a hell of a game.
Oh my gosh. What? I mean, I actually watched this one. I know, shocker, someone who has a podcast watches a college football game. But what was going through your head with that play? And you know what play I'm talking about. The hustle play.
Oh my gosh.
It's ball game. It's ball game.
It is. It's total ball game. And while I'm watching this, Hurricane Matthew's hitting us, and I just sat in front of the TV from 12 until 12 on Saturday. So 12 hours of straight football. I could not believe my eyes. And I sat there thinking, what would I do as a head coach? This is almost as bad as dropping the ball before the goal line. This is just get in the end zone, run as fast as you can, and the ball game is over.
That's it. I mean, that's like I was thinking, who did what's his name? Butch Davis sold his soul to the devil.
Butch Davis might have, and I really thought they had the Notre Dame look of the Irish thing going on from their undefeated season, where just weird shit has been happening.
That's my kind of play too. I was out of my seat for that. But no, and but the crazy part is that they can go in a. I mean, that's kind of a coin flip now because you lose at home or on the road one possession in overtime to Texas A&M. That's eradicated if you beat Alabama. I mean, that doesn't count as much. That counts as nothing now if you beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
No, it's in Tennessee. Yeah. And we'll get to that game and its implications. And trust me, Tennessee's had a run at things. I mean, they've had 4 weeks now where they've had to play somebody big. So I can't.
They've had like some quarters. It was the Florida game where they had a quarter where they look so good. They look scary good, and then you blink, and it's the Josh Dobbs throwing one of the worst picks in overtime.
Well, it's usually the other way around. It's the first half. Tennessee, just like this one, Tennessee's down 7-21 going into half, and you're thinking, it's going to happen again. It's got to happen again. You're down 2 touchdowns, and granted, you're on the road, which, it's a tough place to play down there, but it's, I never counted Tennessee out of this just because of the way they've been coming back in games and the way they've been playing in the second half. And they come back in the fourth and put up 21. They come back and tie it and send it to overtime.
There's that Texas A&M defense that we've known to love, Brad.
Yeah, well, spotty at best.
A&M defense.
To give up 35 in regulation is, not a great day, but whatever. And especially 21 in the fourth quarter. Yep. Not something to hang your hat on, but again, Tennessee gets Alabama this week. Texas A&M gets them next. So we'll see kind of where these guys are matched up against.
Is that second one in College Station or Tuscaloosa?
Tuscaloosa.
Okay. That would have been scary for Jalen Hurts to go back to back.
No, it would. It would. But Tennessee is human. They lose. What this means for the SEC East, I don't think a lot. In their division, still undefeated. Obviously beating Florida and Georgia. Who else do you have? So,
Missouri.
Well, all right.
Next question.
Next question. But so I think they have their ticket punched. If they don't screw this up, which they're definitely possible it could, but I think they have their ticket punched for the most part to the SEC championship. Just the way how divisions work and all that good stuff. Texas A&M undefeated in the SEC East, the only other undefeated team in the SEC, which could make this Tennessee Alabama game this week interesting, and then their game next week even more interesting. So
I like this A&M team.
Things getting a little shaken up in the SEC, but at the same time, we're starting to get a better image of who's going to prevail towards the end of the season and obvious title contenders. So
I should also probably stop saying I love teams because that means they immediately lose. So
yes, we're going to get to that.
I love Alabama.
Shut up.
I love them the rest of the way.
Let's go to the West Coast. A team that we've written off.
I hate this team. I hate them so much, Brad. And they've done nothing to me, but I just hate them.
So going into this, Washington was favored by 8.5 points.
You could have made a 38.5 that would have covered. Jesus.
48.5, Dugan, and they would have
48.
covered.
I didn't realize it got that bad. Oh, boy.
It was 70-21. It was 21-0 after the first quarter. Man. This is it. I mean, Washington has punched their ticket. Arguments to tell me no. Arguments to tell me that I'm wrong.
Yeah, that I just don't like them.
No, Dugan, I'm from the state of Washington. I was born there. I don't like Washington.
I hate
this Jake Browning guy. Who is this man? 6 touchdowns?
I mean, I just hope they pull a classic Pac-12 team and trip up before the conference championship and just throw a huge wrench in this. I'd like that. Is it going to happen? Probably not. They looked really good. Also, sidebar, it'll be interesting to see Notre Dame Stanford this weekend. I would put a lot of money on Christian McCaffrey getting his first touchdown not at home. I like that bet a lot.
What a weird stat in sports.
Unfreaking believable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it. I still don't believe it.
We'll get to this. We'll get to my thought here towards the end. Dugan, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Washington spanked them 71-21. What does that say? What do you have to say? Washington's the real deal.
They're real. They're good.
Stanford and Oregon are out of the way.
So who is it now? I guess
UCLA.
Josh Rosen. They just lost, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, UCLA is always going to have 3 or 4 losses on the season.
Yeah.
I could just pencil those into the beginning of the season, but
no, Washington's. I mean, that's a penciled-in team now. I think if they take care of business, that's
at least punch their ticket to the Pac-12 championship game. And
oh yeah, they'll be just fine.
So there we go. At least we're starting to narrow the picture for our fans here.
And while we're on it, just to touch on last week, while we're putting a team in, we're also taking Houston out.
Oh, that's what I was. We're going to get to that after this because they were not in our 5 teams that we were following here. I think we both had Washington to cover. So there's that. Moving on to the Atlantic Coast, the ACC, and the big matchup this weekend was Florida State, Miami. People getting spit on from the stands.
The U's back, baby.
The U is back, even though not really because they mixed an extra point.
Crazy story about this, actually, Brad. So this was Saturday. So Saturday night, I was watching some of the games beforehand because I was going to the Ravens game next day. So I was taking it easy. I'd go to bed around 11-ish. I swear I wake up at like 12 o'clock or whatever time it was. So this was a late kick. And I got my phone there. I'm like, let me just watch ESPN this. I got a hunch, or I want to see what's happening. As soon as I turn it on, it's a touchdown pass. And then the blocked extra point. That couldn't have timed my viewing window any more perfect.
I'm glad for you, Dugan.
So, that's long story short.
Long story short.
That was awesome. That was an awesome 35 seconds I watched.
So, not a lot to take away. Obviously, a big win to stay relevant for Florida State. Miami as their first ACC or first loss of the season. I think Miami just gave this away. Gave this game away. Up 13-3. Not a high-scoring game. At home. I think this is one of those FSU, miraculous comebacks that Miami wasn't prepared for.
Are they miraculous? I mean, obviously, statistical or score-wise, they are pretty miraculous. But how much does that just show that Jimbo Fisher might be the best mid-game coach?
Did you realize that Showtime is doing a documentary on them, and so you'll actually be able to see the recording of halftime speeches and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean that happens with a team just signing a deal. I mean, it's not indicative of their play this year. They just assume that they would be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, I know Saban's up there. So is Jimbo. Just really good teams that you think at halftime. That it's different when you are playing a really bad team and you assume, okay, we're up 20 at halftime. Let's just coast in there now. You're always kind of worried when you're in Alabama, when you're playing Alabama, because you know the whole game plan is going to change and it's somehow going to be close.
I agree.
Yes.
But not like Florida State, man. When Florida State got to that first college football playoff, it was comeback after comeback after comeback with famous Jameis, and I just think, you could just never count them out, especially their first game this year against Ole Miss, where they came back from just an ungodly amount of points.
Were you a famous Jameis fan?
No, I was not.
I kind of liked him.
I kind of liked him.
I just liked how good that team was. That team was just unreal good.
A lot of talent, obviously.
Oh, my gosh.
So, Miami covers, obviously. Oh, I'm sorry. Miami does not cover.
No. Because the worst part is, if they would have made that field goal, your chances were exponentially better because you had to figure there's going to be a score or a missed field goal or a field goal made and a score to cover your points for your Miami.
That's right. That's a bad beat.
A huge blocked extra point.
That's a bad beat. Now to our final game of the week. Not much of a game as well. We had Alabama and Arkansas.
Arkansas's got to cover there.
I mean, what did you see here in terms of, obviously 14-point failure coming in. Obviously, Alabama's going to get it done. But I thought Arkansas is just one of those teams that plays like Alabama, smash mouth football.
Well, see, the problem is, I was thinking about this too, they play like Alabama, but they also don't have
the athletes,
like their specialty players, so wide receivers and cornerbacks that are athletes, and like that Mika Fitzpatrick dude just 103 going the other way, not even thinking about it. Like
he's fast.
And they have, those teams technically kind of have the same game plan when you think about it. They're going to control the tempo and move the ball methodically and do all that. And then when Alabama moves the ball, they give the ball to a kid that runs like a 4.40 and it's gone. So,
all in all, I mean, other than the second quarter, Arkansas kept this pretty close.
That late pick six hurt.
Yeah, it did. But towards the end, I mean, midway through the fourth, Saban's putting in his scrubs and his backup guys. So maybe he's showing a little bit of respect to Brett. I'm sure he likes him. But I just thought this team definitely could have put him on it more, I think. This Alabama team. Not very impressive. Moving the ball downfield, just executing in the red zone was a bit of an issue.
It's a backwards Alabama team, I think. They're scoring points and they're playing good defense. What is going on? But that's not how his teams function. His teams struggle to score because they have a really bad quarterback who can't run. And now look what they're doing. So they're so scary.
It is scary, but they'll have more tests. I mean, Alabama's got Tennessee this weekend, the game we're going to cover. Texas A&M next weekend. They got a bye, then LSU. And then obviously the Iron Bowl can always...
Yeah, I think that's going to come down to how poorly Auburn is a quarterback. But I digress.
Let's get to a game that we sort of wrote off and just... Shocker. The midshipmen up there in Annapolis, Maryland.
I texted Picardi and asked him if we could go to the game to tailgate, and it was that hurricane, so it was nasty, so we didn't want to go. But I was kind of happy I didn't see that. I would have been sad.
Yeah, 40-46, Navy wins. Somewhat of a shootout, but it doesn't. If Houston looked flat, they were making mistakes left and right.
Yep.
And just couldn't stop. I think his name is Will Worth from Navy.
Not Keenan Reynolds.
And,
unfortunately. But
and Ward had a decent night. I think the defense of Houston can kind of put that loss on their shoulders, as well as some mistakes in regards to Houston. So,
is the dream over?
Yeah, the dream is done.
I don't want it to be done, though.
We're looking at a playoff picture.
What if they smack LSU, or what if they smack Louisville in the mouth?
They're still done.
You think?
Yeah.
So what? They'll have to have a 2-loss Washington. They'll have to have only one SEC and one Big Ten.
I think right now, I think what we're looking at right now, after Tennessee loses,
Clemson, Alabama,
and
Ohio
unless
State.
like Texas A&M comes down to the overtime and then they run the table, that's a possibility. Texas A&M loses to Alabama, vice versa, in OT. Both teams are on the table after that. You could see a 2 SEC team playoff. I was thinking Big Ten, obviously Ohio State, Michigan, but they play each other last game of the regular season, so therefore the committee is going to look at them and be like, obviously one team's better than the other. What does a 2-game separation or 1-game separation make a difference? So obviously it's looking like Clemson, Washington out of the Pac-12, someone who comes out of the Big Ten, and then in the SEC championship. So,
Dream's over.
Dream's over. Sorry.
No, that's on me. I got to stop getting passionate with these teams. They stunk. Everyone stinks except for Alabama.
Yeah. So let's talk about one of your teams, Notre Dame.
I mean, that game taught us nothing. If we're being honest, that game there's nothing to talk about.
I only bring this up so you can get your frustrations out.
I think it's pretty preposterous they play this game. And what I'm going to say is not where you think I want to go with this. Is NC State's a pretty good team. I like NC State a lot. I think it was a disservice that they have to have, I guess, even though the Notre Dame team isn't that good, their win in like a monsoon. I would have loved to see these two teams play like on a dry field because I think it would be a very good game. I'm by no means saying Notre Dame got bamboozled because of the weather. Brian Kelly, wow. Dude, he threw the ball like 55 times.
Yeah.
It was the most ridiculous thing in the world. And then they start running it. And then he goes back to throwing it. It was unfreaking believable. And then the game-winning score is a blocked punt, which I still don't get how there's a reason why the NFL doesn't line up for punt protection like they do in college and high school. There's a reason they don't do that because you can push the guy right into the kicker. Yeah. And it's just stupid stuff. But I mean, that's the opinion of Notre Dame season. Let's see what they do against Stanford. If anything, hopefully Deshaun Kaiser stays. But we'll see.
Well, let's jump right into that with this week coming up, week 7, hard to believe. But it's going to be sunny for this game and 75 down in Memorial Stadium for an NC State Clemson. Matt Gibb actually just texted me and said he was going to go to the game. So,
really?
Yeah, he's going to go tailgate and all that good stuff. He's down in South Carolina for a week.
I dig Matt Gibb.
Good man.
He's a man of the people.
He is a man of the people. A lot of memorial stadiums in college football.
A lot of memorial stadiums, a lot of mascots.
A lot of mascots.
I was thinking about that. Come on, be clever. It's like you're making a team in NCAA football, and you have like the default names like Eagles, Tigers, turd sandwiches.
Turd sandwiches.
So go on. Sorry.
So Clemson's favored by 18. And so what are you going to choose here?
What time is this game being played?
I'm sorry?
What time is this
12.
game being played?
High noon.
I like NC State. I think they're really. I like how they play, and I think they'll be able to keep it close. They have a really good running back too, who I think is going to go under the radar. I think his name is Days. He's pretty good.
Days, I think that's how you pronounce it, but he definitely a decent running back. I just think Clemson has righted the ship. Well, they'll get their defense going, and I think this is a blowout. So I'm going to eat the points, a lot of points.
I think it's a blowout too, but I think there's some kind of garbage time. Knock 20.
Damn it! I think you're right too.
14.
Nope. I've already said it.
Go with your gut.
Go with my gut. Moving on. We are going to go down the list here of importance, and we're going to get to North Carolina, 4-2, traveling to South Beach, Miami, against number 16 Hurricanes here, 4-1. Miami is eating 7 points, favored.
That UNC team played terrible in that rain too.
Well,
that was nasty.
It may
It wasn't even that rainy though.
Yeah, well, it may call for thunderstorms here, just to give you the listeners, a little preview of what's to come at Hard Rock Stadium. Great name.
If they allow students to come to this game after the whole spitting thing, the U's back. I'm taking the U.
I'm looking around at all the other stadiums and matchups. I think Miami has the most available tickets left at the least amount listed. Nope.
Well, I mean, because they're going to give them all the students, and they're just going to spit on people.
Oregon State, you can get to the Oregon State game for $9.
No one wants to go to Corvallis for a game. That's.
Oh, you can go to the Houston game for $9.
They're dead. That ticket was probably $200. Now they're dead.
Yeah. No, but 14,000 is definitely the most still left out of at least the top 25 teams that are playing this week. That's what I'm reading off of. But so, what'd you say? Miami's dead?
No, the U's back.
Oh, the U is back. Excuse me. Yes, the U is back.
They're gonna win this game by a lot.
You win. I'm gonna agree with you as well. I think. Oh no, I didn't agree with you last time. I think they cover as well. I'll eat the points with you, and the U, baby.
It's all about the U.
Fun fact. Only 52 tickets available still for Akron versus Western Michigan. Michigan's good.
That's some action right there.
Yeah.
That coach is nuts.
They can travel.
Yeah.
All right, now to the showdown of the week. The second most important game, I think, of the weekend. Alabama travels to Lane Kiffin's old stomping ground, one of them. Old Neyland Stadium. For the listeners at home, there are 250 tickets still available at $325, the lowest one going.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
Dude, that's a lot. What's the most you spent on a ticket, out of curiosity?
$220.
What game was it?
That was the Washington Capitals Winter Classic.
Okay, that's not...
So it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's like...
Yeah, so that was maybe a bad example from you, just because... Or no, because, I mean, that is the most expensive ticket, but it was kind of like a special occasion.
Yeah.
Well, actually, mine was, too. I spent $160 for, the Steelers-Ravens, the Thanksgiving game where Mike Tomlin was stepped on the field during the kick. That's a scumbag.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I might have spent more. I might have spent $280 or $180. I think I spent $280.
Well, one of those is more.
Yeah, I think I spent $280 for a Capitals Penguins playoff game.
Oh, who won that game?
Capitals.
Who won the series?
We'll keep it PG-13. Go to hell. But it was all inclusive, so all you could eat, all you could drink. So
That's not a bad time.
no, I got cut off
Yeah.
from the hot dogs. I was not allowed any more hot dogs.
Oh.
Or deep fried mac and cheese bites.
Oh, boy.
Woo, those are good.
You take any pocket dogs with you? Take them for the road?
No, I had some road beers though.
You had some road beers? I would went with pocket dogs.
Pocket dogs.
Okay.
Alabama getting Tennessee's getting 13 at home. 50 over under is 57, so not a high scoring affair for both teams that have put up some points in the past. I think that's an easy over under. Yeah, this is real close. I think Alabama beats them, and I think they beat them by 13. I mean, that's a solid number. Alabama going to home, 3:30 SEC primetime game, especially with Vern on the call.
Oh yeah. Game day's not there.
I'll take Tennessee with the points.
Tennessee with the points. I'm thinking Tennessee too. Vegas is trying to tell us something. Vegas thinks this is going to be a lot closer than I think it is.
Well, the over-under is at 57.
Yeah.
That's 26.5 points per person, per team. Am I right?
There it is.
Am I right?
Yes, I mean it's...
No, I'm wrong. 28.5.
Okay, that's better.
28.5.
28.5, so what's that? That's 28.5, so that's 7 1/4. Is that right?
Yeah.
7 1/4. Wow. Each team. I think it's the. I don't know now. I'm gonna.
Obviously, plus or minus 13 for both.
I'm gonna emotionally hedge this game and say Alabama
covers.
Yeah, because if they don't cover, well, I guess there's some gap. There's an ambiguity in my hedge if Alabama wins, but not by 13 or more. Okay, or 10. I'll take Alabama.
You are eating the points and taking Alabama, and I will take Tennessee.
Sure am.
With the points. Moving down the line, we got the Ole Miss Rebels, the Ole Miss Admiral Akbars.
Ole Miss Admiral I missed that.
And the Arkansas Razorbacks coming off that loss to Bama. Arkansas started hot, but now they are 0-2 with losses to Texas A&M and Alabama. Ole Miss, is favored by 7.5 points. Arkansas is at home again. I think Swag Chad Kelly, hot off his fighting high school kids, wins this game.
Is he going to play? Is he playing?
Wins this game and wins it by a lot.
Is he playing?
I think so.
Okay. If he's, it's my answer's contingent on it.
Whoa. I didn't even think it was in question. Way to go.
Well, I'm also the guy that thought it was from 5 years ago. So. Way
to go, Neubeck.
So, hey, Brian, let's let the listeners do a little homework here. If he plays, I love him. If they don't, I don't love him. Simple as that. So they got to listen. They'll find out who we like. Let them look it up. I'm not worried about it.
Looking at these stats, Austin Allen has more yards than Chad Kelly. More touchdowns, one more interception, but same completion percentage, pretty much. I mean, we'll see. I think this is going to be a shootout over under 67, so it's getting on the high side. But I look to Ole Miss to run the table and just show no mercy here, especially coming off a bye. A bye is everything in football.
Captain Insano, show no mercy.
Show no mercy.
Yeah, so I like Ole Miss.
All right. We have an agreement.
We do.
$17 can get you that on StubHub. Ohio State pushing for sponsors here, Dugan.
I'm with you.
Ohio State, Wisconsin. The big matchup of the weekend. Ohio State, number 2, at Camp Randall Stadium, Madison, Wisconsin.
Camp Randall gets wild.
It is going to be rainy. That's what it's called for. So,
Gotcha.
Ohio State is being favored by 11 points.
11 in rain.
11 in rain is a lot. Who knows? It just says AccuWeather and it's got a storm cloud and rain. So, who knows?
AccuWeather.
AccuWeather.
Do they have a slogan?
Yeah. We're 2 days out there. Looking at JT Barrett as... I'm getting off topic here, but looking at JT Barrett as a Heisman Trophy winner or candidate is laughable. He is not even... Granted, they've had a bye. I'll give him that. They have a bye, but he has not broken 1,000 yards passing.
What is your definition, or are you one of those guys who just gives out the MVP to, like, the dudes who have the best stats? Or are you like...
it's not even close.
Are you if we take this person out of a team, then they would be, like, light years not as good?
I think this is... No. I
don't know. That's why I asked you.
It's tough to say.
I think...
It's totally situational.
If you look at it from the standpoint of who's the most important player on a top 5 team, it is without question JT Barrett. The most important player.
Why?
Because on a team full of all younger guys, he stirs the drink for the offense. He knows what he's doing. He makes the right reads. He doesn't do anything stupid, and he's productive. He doesn't, with that team, he does not need to be. It's like those Peyton Manning Broncos teams towards the end where, like, he has a really good defense. He has weapons. Really get them the ball and be the facilitator or be the point guard. And that's what
Peyton Manning sucked last year.
Excuse me?
I said Peyton Manning sucked last year.
Well, I said his ending years where he was just more of a game manager.
Fine. This is an Ohio State team that is hanging their hat, coat, whole wardrobe on the defense. I think at times this offense looks stagnant and just refuses to change.
Sounds like an Alabama team.
It does. And don't get me wrong, he's got the ponies on both sides of the ball, but I just don't think JT Barrett is a great passer at all. Granted, he can run the ball. Congratulations. So
he's not going to win the Heisman, but if you're just mad that he's even in the conversation, then,
I'm just mad. He's like a.
He's not going to win it.
Manti Te'o conversation. Like, why are you even there?
He had a really good year, Brad.
I'm stirring the pot.
It's going to be probably Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson. Is there a really good running back? No, not Dalvin Cook anymore. We'll see.
Leonard Fournette, but he's not having a great season, and he might not even play.
He should have sat out this year.
I hate you. Ohio State, Wisconsin. Who do you got?
I like Ohio State getting their first scare of the year. I think it's that Michigan game close for Wisconsin. I think they play really well again. They kind of stop JT Barrett, and he'll have a Heisman-winning game. I'm just kidding on that last part. No, I think Wisconsin keeps it close. 9-ish. I think about 9-ish to me.
I agree with you. I think they keep it close, and Ohio State punches it in late or kicks a field goal late, but keeps it close. So I'll take Wisconsin and give me the points.
Yeah.
Let me eat it up. Dugan, who do you have in your college playoff now that the Cinderella story has struck midnight? And
can't drink that Kool-Aid anymore.
You look like a peasant.
I don't.
No, I meant like Cinderella, like she turned back into a peasant.
She was I don't get that reference. Yeah. I said it before, I think. So what? You keep the Alabama with their trophy holder. Then you got Clemson. Then Ohio State. And then your fourth would have to be those fuckers from Washington. I'm going to hate this team, Brad. But the worst thing is, though, I know is with my luck, it's going to be them versus Alabama. I have to side with Washington. I'm going to kill myself.
God, Washington would be the Ohio State of 2 years ago, and I just can't stand them. And I respect this now. You know what it was? I was traveling to work the other day, and fake work, and it popped in my head and was like, you know what? What happened to hating Ohio State that much? Like, what happened to you just downright could not stand Ohio State? And 2 words, and I forgot those 2 words. Michigan Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh. I can't stand him.
Oh, yeah, he needs to stop. Sidebar, because I'm going to admire Ohio State. How about Tim Tebow saved a life yesterday?
Oh, whatever. God damn it.
The last thing I'll say, which I think is a very valid question, I was never really a big Tim Tebow guy. But how is this guy not in the NFL?
Fun fact, I got my dad a Tebow Time t-shirt, and on this t-shirt was a big clock, and the hands were Tim Tebow's hands throwing a pass. Just erratic throwing motion. So his left arm is like completely extended.
Yes.
And it's
ridiculous.
9-1, you know?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He can't get a job. That's unbelievable.
It's
but
9-1.
We'll stop there.
But all right, Dugan, we've got our picks. Another great slate of games coming up.
That was a weird episode today.
I thought it was good.
No, we kind of talked about. Yeah, we kind of lingered a little bit, but I like it.
But we lingered on the games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what we set out to do.
I like it, Bradley.
All right. Dugan, let's go Caps. Sins get the win last night. Dollar dog night strikes again.
Whew.
Hockey's back,
Jeez.
baby.
Hockey's back. All right. Play it back. Bradley, I wish you my best.
Yes, sir. Have a good week.
Same to you. Thank you.